It all began as a prank. I, a young man, was dating a young woman and working with an all-female staff. The girls at work were fun and always came up with silly ideas. For example, on February 23rd, they gave me a mug with the words, "Tears of my exes" written on it, and the whole office burst into laughter. Their attention was overwhelming, but I was deeply in love and never even considered the thought of my beloved being unfaithful. However, one of my colleagues brought some amusing news to work. She had read somewhere that if you iron your man's underwear with red pepper sprinkled on it, you can determine if he is cheating. We laughed about it all day, but when I got home in the evening, I decided not to mention it to my girlfriend. Lenachka was extremely jealous, and I didn't want to provoke unnecessary suspicion. Interestingly enough, 3 of my colleagues decided to try out this life hack the following week. 2 of them showed up at work with bruises, but at least they knew their husbands weren't cheating on them. I found it quite amusing, until the 3rd colleague approached me for help. Her partner had not reacted in any way to the fiery underpants, but based on his behavior, she was convinced he was cheating. She approached me during lunchtime and asked if I could help her keep an eye on him. I shrugged, finding the request a bit strange, but agreed nonetheless. I had to call my girlfriend and cancel our lunch date. Lenachka laughed, claiming that I had read her mind, as she had also wanted to call me and canceled due to feeling a cold coming on. She had made an appointment with her therapist instead. 30 minutes later, we were parked near the apartment building where the couple rented a place. I found the secluded spot a little further away. All we had to do was wait. My colleague was visibly nervous, with trembling hands and a coffee cup that shook. Trying to calm her down, I placed my hands on her wrists and looked into her eyes. I was about to say something when my gaze shifted over her shoulder to the street. There, briskly walking along the sidewalk, was my Lenachka, wearing her distinctive high-heeled shoes. She paused at the entrance and retrieved her phone from her bag. A few minutes went by, and a man emerged to greet her. They exchanged an unfriendly hug, and then his hand wandered down to Lenachka's buttocks. At that moment, when the man leaned in for a kiss, I was ready to jump out of the car and throw punches. I was only stopped by my coworker's hand, which rested casually on my wrist. "That's my boyfriend," she whispered, holding back tears. "I didn't know how to tell you. I thought if you saw it with your own eyes, there would be no doubt." "How did you find out about them? How is this even possible?" I asked. He let it slip with a joke about pepper. I grew suspicious, looked into it, and found his conversation with the other girl. And this morning, while he was in the shower, a notification popped up on his phone confirming a doctor's appointment, she explained. "But how did you know it was Lena?" I inquired. "Social media." "Oh, look, there's a taxi," she responded. The couple got into the cab, and we followed them. Before long, we all arrived at the entrance of the hospital, leaving no room for doubt. I followed them to the building entrance and stepped on the gas. We raced back to work. It was a rude awakening. Lena, with her jealousy, was knee-deep in infidelity. I couldn't bear staying at work until the evening, so I headed home, rushing into the apartment like a whirlwind. At first, I began packing her things into a suitcase, but then I stopped. Anger consumed me from within, leaving only ashes. I went to Lenka's dresser, seized her underwear, and ran to the kitchen for pepper. I spent the next hour engaging in a particularly fruitful activity, sprinkling the cheater's underwear with pepper from the depths of my heart, and then ironing them passionately. That evening, I reaped the rewards of my labor. After taking an evening shower, my beloved changed into clean underwear and slipped beneath the blanket. Just a few minutes later, her eyes widened in disbelief. "Something's wrong," I said affectionately, fixing Lena's hair. "Yeah," she mumbled. "Probably allergic to cheating," I responded. Lena froze, then hurriedly got out of bed and dashed off to the bathroom. I quickly packed my belongings amid the incessant sound of running water. The foolish girl didn't even realize that the water only intensified the burning sensation. Without any regrets, I left the rented apartment and the cheating girl behind, heading to the nearest hotel. I added Lena to various blacklists, and sometimes people's foolishness can be amusing, while other times it actually leads to some sort of result. By the way, we never crossed paths again, and thank goodness for that.